Hi, in this video, we will build and train a neural network. Let's first assign the maximum sequence length for the text and for the summary. These numbers are a result of our previous analysis. Let's remind it quickly. We counted the words of the text and the summary, and I decided to rely only on short text with less than 30 words and remove the outlier of the summary and using summaries with lengths less than 8. We execute again the typical text processing steps in TensorFlow: the tokenizer, the fit on text, text to sequences, and then path sequences. Let's do it for the text and then for the summary. Let's now define the model architecture. We have the vectorized summary, the decoder input, and the decoder target, as well as the vectorized test and the encoder input. Then we have the vocabulary size for the encoder and the decoder. We have 2 tokenizers, and then we add 1. Remember the padding character. Then we set the dimension of the embedding to 50. No particular reason for this, simply sufficient. Then here we have all the architecture. Let me mention that batch normalization is used so that the distribution of the inputs to a specific layer doesn't change over time. Finally, concatenating the different embedding and layers, we reach the final layer, which is the dense layer, with the activation softmax. And finally, we define our sequence-to-sequence model with the encoder inputs, decoder inputs, and finally, decoder outputs. Here we print the sequence-to-sequence model summary. And finally, we train. Notice that given the number of samples, the model is quite fast. This is also because we choose short sentences. Okay, training is finished. Let's see what do we get. We get a value for the loss, which is quite good. Okay, it's not that bad, but still it's always better to try with test, with some test text. Let's start with this. This stuff is awesome. For best flavor, boil it in water, drain the water, add the spice packet, and then add hot water. Okay, I would keep that. This is a positive review. Okay, let's see what our summary is. You see, we have to repeat all the steps every time. Text summarization and also machine translation are much complicated models compared to the others that we have seen. Okay, this is let's notice this. Okay, the state value is start. So we start the sentence with the value corresponding to this word. Okay, that we purposely added at the beginning of each sentence. Then here we initialize the sentence and define the stop condition. Let's look at the vocabulary. The vocabulary basically is the matching between each word and the tokenizer encoder that we obtained. Now let's start with the summary. Notice that while it's not stop condition, so what is the stop condition? The stop condition is that either the word that is forthcoming more likely is end, or that we exceeded the maximum length that we defined at the beginning. Remember, before training the model here, okay? So let's go step by step and let's see what do we have. The best, something good. This is not bad because you see we have not very much words in the summaries, okay? So it's logical that we have short summaries. Let's change the sentence. For example, let's try this. Apparently, they use too much synthetic flavors. That it just burns your tongue. Also, there's too much oil. Not positive at all. And let's see what our model gets. Again, everything. Not what I expected. Makes sense, again. This is not bad. So, in order to we saw that summaries are normally very short. So it's not strange that we get short summaries. But the important is that we get the meaning, okay? Now, for example, let's try this other sentence that looks interesting because it's very positive. Okay, this product is great, okay? It gave you so much energy and tastes great. Try this cafe latte and all the hot air flavors and you will not be disappointed. It's almost like a publicity. Let's check it, let's copy. Great product. Okay, again, looks like this time also made a good job. And this is the end of this exercise and of this course. I hope you enjoyed it. The arguments were complex, and I hope I managed to make you understand how they work. Greetings from Pietro, and thank you all for your attention.